do apologise guys, I'm just having a bit of headset issues at the moment. But hopefully you can hear me okay on this one. So just bear with at the moment. So just bear with at the moment. Yes. So just bear with at the moment. Yes. It's okay. Right, stream does work. So yes, good evening and welcome to the JTCC. This is round number 4 of the GR3 Championship, and it is the one and only Hoppers in the commentary box. I do apologise if I sound a bit quiet, I'm on a different headset at the moment. My usual one seems to have packed up, I'm not too sure, but I'll have a look into that throughout when I get a free moment. But yes, it is the one and only Hoppers on to... just bear with us in that, to the wrong group. So, yes, it is going to be very interesting. What will happen here this evening here at Kyoto, and we will see exactly what's going on. I'll go through the points in a minute, as well as a bit of what happened in the previous races. So, good evening, good afternoon, or good morning, depending on where you are watching the stream for this evening. I hope you can all hear me correctly and we are good to go. There is potentially a lot of fireworks for this evening, and I believe since last time, different headset at the moment. Yeah, I sound clear, that's okay. Just double checking that I can hear myself on stream. Yes, we'll go through the points. So in first place at the moment is Adam Morgan. He's on 91 points after I believe he took a race win at the Nürburgring last time out, after having a bit of a long race battle with none other than Craig Thomas, the real Osman. Craig is 1 point behind at the moment. Obviously Supras are dominating the championships. Then you have Craig Thomas's cousin Lee Fitzy, who was just watching out on track. He's on 82, so he's 9 points behind championship leader at the moment. Then you have Brian Moncani on 68, and then you have Chris Wheatley in the VGT, so the NSX, then the VGT. Chris Wheatley on 65, then Brian Ross, who's actually the host for the evening. He was here, I think he's just actually he's there. Yeah, he's sat in pit lane. Brian is on 60 points. Then you have Stu Shelton in the checkered Bat Toyota Supra. He's on 58. Then you have Dean Atkinson, that is in the Lexus RCF, on 54. And then you have Dan Cope on 34 in the blue and white VGT. Then you have Nathan John, that's here in the beautiful liveried Toyota Supra. And then you have Steve Stones. I believe Steve will be making an appearance very shortly in the Black VGT. I do apologise. My throat is kind of a bit dry at the moment. He's on Zone Dave John's on 32, and Steve Stones is on 18. Then you have Neil Hall. Sadly, Neil will not be making a series return. He's on at the moment 16 points. Then you have two drivers that are tied on 14 points, and that is Bruno Patika and of course Nathan Rombot. They're both on 14 at the moment. Then you have Phil Wilson on 10. I believe Phil has got other commitments. He's not going to be making the remainder of the series. Then you have myself. I've now decided to jump into the commentary box after only doing one race. That was the opening round at, I believe that was the opening round at Dragon Trails on the seaside, and I am on a point. But yes, there is kind of a lot of things to play for, and potentially a lot of interest surrounding the paddock here at Kyoto. It is obviously a track that is maybe, as I nearly dropped the controller, a track that is maybe underrated in certain points, because yes, you do have it being long, you do have and some technical twisty corners here, but it is going to be very exciting to see exactly what happens within the league this evening. Obviously you've got people like Adam Morgan, wherever he is. Yeah, he's just gone off there. Obviously leading the championship by 1 point from Craig Thomas. They abolished the super soft tyre for the remainder of the championship. I believe that's due to the fact it's just, I don't think most people were concerned, because it is the first one you select for when you do a pit stop. Don't know whether Adam Morgan's got steering issues or not. It looks like he has at the moment, according to that graphic. Excuse me for yawning. So yes, you do have the likes, potentially a lot of the cars do have potentially sponsorship. They do have PJ Parcels, they have ESR Idol 4 Gaming, they have Hopper's Motorsport Vlogs, and of course Shell Lawman Motorsport. The main series sponsor is actually PJ Parcels for both this division and also the GR2s that are running this evening. You do have Nick Sargent hosting the GR2 Championship, which will have Darren Baldwin, the most friendliest commentator in Darren Baldwin, doing the commentary for the GR2s. I believe they're at Autopolis this evening, so it is an all-Japanese affair in both leagues this evening. And I believe the GR2s have had some spectacular wins. I believe Ryan McVeigh at the moment, from what I've heard, is on in course for his 4th win of the series. But going back to here for the GR3s, you had Craig Thomas take out 2 race wins at Dragon Trails and of course into Lagos, and then obviously come the Nürburgring last week, he had his race winning streak come to an end, which kind of put him in a bit of a back foot to try and chase down Adam Morgan at the moment. So potentially it will be I do apologise. Good evening, Phil. I believe the GR2s will be on the second Eldar Sim channel, mate. Just for curiosity, I believe it's on the second Eldar Sim channel. So yes, it is going to be very close and very entertaining for all drivers this evening, and it will be probably one of the best. And probably who knows exactly what will happen for this evening. it is going to be close, because not only have they got to take it's a 50-minute race, so you have to take 10 minutes on soft, hard and mediums. It can be any tyre to start with, so you can try softs, the hards or the mediums, but you do have to do a 10-minute stint on all three sets of tyres, should I say. If it was wet, it would be either intermediates or wets, of course. But I believe, you know, they abolished the super softs because not many people, well, they were finding it a bit, well, I'm going to say, a bit confusing for some of the guys. But over here at Kyoto, you know, we do have 10 minutes of qualifying coming up. I believe it's 8 o'clock, if I remember rightly. Excuse me, as I sneezed out everyone's ear. But yes, we do have obviously the softs, mediums and hards, and obviously, you know, that's going to play a major factor. So will fuel, because the fuel depletion is also around, and also with the drivers that are going to be starting. Ideally, it depends on what you feel comfortable with. I've driven these cars, I've even driven the GR2s last season, so I know the best of both worlds. Kind of just doing one race in these Supras and probably VGTs and potentially Lexuses, and of course the NSXs. You're just looking at Chris Wheatley at the moment, just as I try and get my words out. He's going to be a force to be reckoned for with him. Obviously, trying to put another dent in Craig Thomas's winning streak. Craig wants another victory. You know, he's massively kind of wanting that what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of want the magic to happen again, potentially, for his race winning streak. You know, he had it a bit dented last week. We do have some new guys, or a new guy joining us this evening. I believe it's Rui. He's known as Fast Portuguese. I'll double check whether it is or not. I do apologise if it is wrong. Just give me 1 second. So we've got 15 minutes until qualifying. So we do have Bruno Batica also entering. Yeah, it's Rui who is Fast Portuguese, so yes, we do have potentially a good night of racing. It is going to be probably close and personal for some of these guys. I do say, you know, at the moment there is kind of like an interchanging Welsh battle for first place, or potentially the top 4 in the championship, because obviously with the likes of Craig, Lee Fitzy, and of course do me a favour 1 second, guys. So yes, there is a Bruno Batica fan. He's just sat in pit lane at the moment, so you know, he's obviously just a big shout out to Bruno Batica. He's actually the Hoppers Motorsport Vlogs Master MX-5 funny enough champion from the Friday series, so he's going to be a massive force to be reckoned for, and potentially it will be one of them. So it is going to be class, but as I say, Bruno Batica is the reigning Friday series for Tier 3, and yes, he's going to be on a massive charge. You know, just looking at his Honda NSX at the moment, it's looking very nice, I must admit. But yes, it's going to be close. But as I say, I believe, just going back into the YouTube stream. But yes, it's going to be very close to see exactly what these guys can do. Will be pretty much very close. As I say, we've got a Welsh battle between the Welsh lads. They like to have interchanging sort of controversy between them guys. So it is going to be very interesting. So yeah, Excalibur is obviously new to the league, but I believe he has potentially a lot of, hopefully a lot of, oh thank you. It's going to be very amazing to technically see what these guys can do. Obviously with me, Hoppers, doing the commentary, you know, I can tell you guys exactly how these cars can drive. You know, they are, as much as I'm gonna say, they are fantastic, and it can be quite interesting. I must say the Super of Excalibur, Nathan, he actually, you know, the car can be quite. I don't know how he finds it to drive, but from a personal point of view, excuse me, but you know, it can be quite tricky. But around here with some of the technical going into this hairpin now, it can be quite interesting to see exactly what happens for the Super and the VGTs. Obviously you've got most of the field is compacted with VGTs, which is basically a concept version of the Supra. The Supra you're seeing on screen at the moment, as I'm looking at the moment, is actually a concept, but it is used in the GR3 or the GT 300 class in real life in the Japanese Super GT. The GR2 cars that you may see on stream throughout Darren Baldwin and what Nick Sargent run, they are the equivalent of GT 500 in Japanese Super GT. So we are kind of trying to make it look like a Japanese Super GT championship, if you will. So it is going to be very interesting to see exactly what happens. But I do feel like, you know, there is a lot of how can I put it? A lot of firepower within the GR2 cars compared to these like GT3 specification cars. We've got the likes of obviously Dean Atkinson just here, just following Nathan around in that Lexus RCF. The Lexus RCF is an underrated car. I'm no disrespect to Dean. He's obviously running that, as you can tell he's got the Hoppers Motorsport Vlogs logo on the front of his car. So we are proudly sponsoring various cars, and obviously it is a part of the delivery requirement. I believe he might have to, but it will be very interesting to see exactly what he can do. But obviously, you know, you've got the likes of, like, going back to Lexus, it's underrated because Dean was very on course to doing so well within the Nürburgring race last time out, and you know, it can be very interesting. We'll just go on board with the Lexus if we can. Yeah, we'll give you a bit of an idea what this track is all about. But you know, with this track, I've not raced around here, but I've seen it done. It is going to be very close and probably personal, as Dean actually loses control going out of the final turn here. I believe the Lexus is on, at the moment it's got a bit damaged front and front places at the moment. But yeah, the cars can be quite tricky because they're all been rear-wheel drive. But you know, as I say, anything can happen. Sort of banana peel, love it. But yeah, Steve Stone's in the Platinum Plumbing VGT. This is another car that is technically very underrated. Nathan through it. I like your style. But yes, this car here, the VGT, it's another underrated. Not been used by, I believe it's used so many times in the grid, within the grid, just to get my headset sorted. But it does have potentially a power of a Supra, but it is, I believe it's slightly quicker. Excuse me, slightly quicker than the Supras that are running. We do have, as I say, the NSX. Oh dear. Okay, that's a bit weird. I do apologise, guys. I don't know exactly what's going on at the moment. But give me a second, we'll soon find out exactly what's going on. I'd just like to find out what's going on. At the moment, I do apologise. I believe the host at the moment has... I don't know whether he's had a technical difficulty or what. There's been a blue screen for the host. So yeah, hope you can all still hear me on stream. Yep, you can. That's okay. I like to double check. As I say, guys, I do apologise. The host has had a bit of an issue. So luckily, I'm not hosting tonight because I would have been so mortified if it was me. But hopefully, Brian Ross will get the lobby back open very shortly. So we'll just have to wait and see whether Brian does get the lobby back up and running. Like I say, I do apologise, guys, for any inconvenience. I will get my drink while I'm here because it will stop my throat from being dry. If you'd like to join Eldar Sim, guys, do check us out on Facebook. We are on Twitter as well as, believe it or not, we are on Instagram. And we do have a new look Eldar Sim website that has just been launched this week. Well, as of Friday, it got launched. So, yeah, do check us out. Oh, it's better when you can have a drink and you can just easily sort it all out. So we'll just double check. So, what does everyone hope for the chances this evening? As I tell you this now, I'm hoping there is certain ways and certain things. Just wait and see exactly what's going on. So we do have a bit of a challenge this evening for the guys. Just give me a second while I sort out the sort of the stream on my phone so I can see exactly what's going on. So as I say, you've got the GR2s in action, and you do have the commentary side of things by Darren Baldwin. You'll be able to hear him. He does absolute class jobs at commentary. Just waiting for the lobby to be reopened, so it makes it kind of, there is a lot to do. So hopefully we'll be back very shortly. So in the meantime, I'll tell you a bit about myself, just for a bit of interest while we're waiting for the lobby to be reset. Obviously I've been commentating for Eldar Sim for probably coming up to a year, maybe a year and a half now. It's been probably a whirlwind adventure throughout my time, because obviously as I say, I used to race, but I put down the controller and now picked up the microphone to host and also do commentary for the guys within Eldar Sim, as well as other racing leagues. Obviously a regular to the comms box, normally on a Friday evening for Eldar Sim Racing. But as things go at the moment, I have had probably, as the lobby is now back open. So yeah, I'm ready to join. So yeah, we should be back up and running in a moment or two. Don't worry about my car. My car isn't being raced. It's just so I know exactly what I'll be doing. There we go. So we should be okay. We should be technically near enough good to go. So I'm just going to be back in 1 second, guys, and I'll leave you at the site of Fast Portuguese's VGT for the time being. So I will be back in 1 second. do apologise about that, guys. I just had to nip to the loo before we start. So hopefully, yes, it should be a pretty much interesting race. We do have I believe we do have the other new guy starting this evening. So we do have a few, I believe the new guy is Ollie Gero Ricardo, so he will be joining very shortly. So we'll be starting very shortly. It'll be very great to see exactly what happens. And yes, we do have very interesting commentary for this evening as well. So not only do we have, as I say, the GR3s, which have been run here with me hoppers, you have also Darren Baldwin doing the GR2 cars. So it will be very interesting as we're about to get qualifying for 10 minutes around here, underway very shortly. So yes, best luck, chaps. Hopefully it should be very interesting to see what goes on. So qualifying has actually now started. So there is another NSX, there is 3 Honda NSXs, and there is a few VGTs, and of course Supras, so, and one Lexus RCF. Just all filing out of pit lane. The Fitzy will be the last one, as it's actually gone out early for once. So I believe it will be Excalibur and Steve Stones that will be the last to leave. So let's see exactly what is going to happen. It's looking like there's going to be a lot of interchanging battles already during the outlaps of qualifying. This normally does happen for quite a bit because the guys just want to try and get the time. Looking like the Brian Moncani there has nearly enough broke his steering in that Honda NSX there. So it is looking likely there is going to be a few cars going to be looking. I must say that NSX looks really nice. It's quite good, I must say. You've got Steve Stones there in the VGT, probably struggling at the moment. Got 8.5 minutes to go. And obviously Nathan at the rear of the field at the moment. He'll probably pick up, he's probably just taking it steady because he's on his outlap at the moment. Dean Atkinson did very well in the Porsche Cayman Super Cup that was on Friday. He got a trio of podiums, so he'll be looking for more here. Potentially the Lexus here at the moment. Just looking at it at the moment, it's probably going to be very interesting. He runs a bit wide there, but hopefully it's going to be interesting with that Lexus. Did you have Dave John in the Supra, followed by Bruno Batica, probably just taking it steady as Dan Cope goes past him. So the guys are probably going to make sort of a pit stop so they can kind of gather which tyres are going to be better to start on for their stints this evening. So you've got Lee Fitzy there trying to overtake Bruno Batica. It's qualifying, even though it looks like they're having a race, they're trying to exactly just try and set the benchmarks, and obviously, you know, it kind of feels like, well, why the racing? Well, it's just to either get the toe or trying to break the toe. So, you know, certain drivers do have a rough idea of exactly what's ongoing. So Stu there in that green and white Supra, the 41 car, obviously trying to push on. We have obviously Brian Moncana on 6th place in that kind of, I believe that's like kind of like a Valentino Rossi coloured Honda NSX. Correct me if I'm wrong though, guys. We do have Chris Wheatley and the VGT behind him, and Welsh coloured VGT. And then you have Brian Fletch, and of course Dean Atkinson. Then you have Dan Cope, and you do have Fast Portuguese. So you have Rui with 6 minutes to go in qualifying, and then you have Brian Ross, and of course Ollie there in 13th at the moment, and then Excalibur and Steve Stones. So, as I say, it is very interesting to see exactly what these guys will do in qualifying, because not only is qualifying vital within the 10 minutes, it is also quite important to get a rhythm, especially in these cars, because not only are they GT3 specification, or GR3s as they like to be known, it takes some time to get some heat into the tyres, especially when you've trying to go for all guns blazing into your qualifying run. At the moment, Lee Fitzy will be the benchmark, and he goes with a 2 minutes 16.1. Craig Thomas, his cousin, is alongside him at the moment with 2:16. I think it was a 2:16.7. Bruno Batica with a 2:18.0, and Chris Wheatley is alongside Adam Morgan at the moment. So the Welsh boys are first to fourth at the moment on the grid. Brian Moncani with his 5th at the moment in the NSX, followed by Stu Shelton and Bruno Batica. Fast Portuguese did a 2:19.8, and then I believe Ollie did a 2:23, so that's pushed him into 10th place at the moment. Excalibur with a 2:20.1, so that's very good going from Nathan at the moment in 9th place. He's going to obviously push on with 4 minutes to go. Will be a standard start for the race as well, so it will be very interesting. Nate Fletch at the moment, believe this was after his it's his first lap, because I believe he pitted, same with Dan Cope, and of course Brian Ross and Dean Atkinson plus Steve Stones with 3.5 minutes to go. So it will be interesting to see what them guys can do after pitting for changing tyres before they started their first flying lap of the evening. So Lee Fitzy at the moment obviously has race winning potential, and has one of the most interesting battles with people during the times of starting. So yes, as I say, Craig Thomas, his cousin, is behind him on the grid at the moment. So Lee Fitzy, has he improved his time? Yes, he has. He's done 2:16.098. Craig Thomas hasn't sadly improved, but it's looking like Chris Wheatley at the moment hasn't done exactly the same either. So Adam Morgan there with Nate Fletch up into 8th with a 1:19.015. Dan Cope, Drop Dead Dan as he likes to be known on here, with 1:19.4. Steve Stones with a 1:23, which has dropped him down to 14th at the moment. Dean Atkinson with a 1:18.4, Brian Ross with a 1:17.7. So the guys that have kind of pitted have pushed themselves up the order slightly. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with just under 2 minutes. Excalibur Nathan up to 13th with a 2:19.6, so that's going to be very interesting indeed. Obviously, that Supra there is on, kind of on the pace. You've got Ollie there trying to still learn the. I think he's still trying to learn the pace of the car at the moment. So, you know, anything can happen. Lee Fitzy. Excuse me. Chasing down another pole position at the moment. Craig Thomas, his cousin, will be alongside. I believe Craig's actually changed the colour of his rims for this evening's race as well, from the red to the blue. So I think he's just... Oh, Lee Fitzy's made a mistake. I believe he's just clipped the wall. I didn't really see exactly what happened. But with 47 seconds to go, that's probably gonna hamper him now, because Craig Thomas, his cousin, will probably have the momentum. Craig wants another win. He's fighting for another win. Rumour has it though that Craig has still put him into second at the moment, so Chris Wheatley will cross the line. Still will be third fastest at the moment. Adam Morgan also into pit lane. I believe the guys are just sitting out at the moment. Brian Moncani, fifth fastest at the moment in that NSX there. You can just see it. So at the moment, as things stand, it is Fast Portuguese goes up into ninth fastest, with Steve Stones at the moment at 14th. So qualifying has technically finished. The guys, if they're on their final laps now, will have to be very quick. It's looking likely at the moment it's going to be a Welsh top 4 on the grid. Bear in mind that Brian Moncani doesn't get purple sectors, but you never know with that NSX that he's drifting it there. He's obviously wanting a bit of interchange of battles. Stu Shelton also on another flyer. He just got across the line just. Brian Ross in 7th. Bruno Matika will just go out to complete qualifying. I believe Dean Atkinson 10th. Nathan John now actually out on track. He managed to get across the line before the timer had run out. So same with Dan Cope. Excalibur 13th. So that's not a bad showing from Nathan there. So it's very good. Steve Stones 14th, and obviously, like I say, Ollie in 15th on his debut. So it is looking likely it could be a very interesting grid. The Welsh boys obviously teaming up and knowing what to do. It's just going to be, I don't know how to put it, but it may look like it could be very interesting to see what these guys can actually technically do this evening. Because obviously with the way things are going at the moment within the championship, you know, it's as Chris Wheatley actually puts himself up into second, which has kind of hampered Craig Thomas's lap time. Excuse me. So the two cousins are split by Chris Wheatley, and obviously with Adam Morgan just in 4th place at the moment. So yes, it is going to be very interesting to see exactly what happens now when they Fletch 11th. Dean Atkinson, as I say, 10th. So it will be down to potentially the Welsh boys at the front at the moment in the top 4 places. They obviously are trying to work together and play a Welsh team game at the moment, by the sounds of that. So qualifying now has finished. It's going to be very interesting because we do have 15 drivers this evening. So we do have a full house. And we are going to get ready for the 50 minutes of Kyoto. And you've got Lee Fitzgerald from Chris Wheatley, followed by Craig Thomas, Adam Morgan, Brian Moncani, Stu Shelton, Brian Ross, Ben Rexis, Fast Portuguese, and the rest of the field. We do have the green flag from the back of the grid. At the moment we will try if we can, but it's very difficult because the revs are building. We were trying to get a view of the starting country, but at the moment who's going to get a good start going into turn number 1? It looks like Chris Wheatley has the better of the start out of the two cousins, but it looks like Craig Thomas is also going to try and slot in behind. It looks like Dean Atkinson's been hung up to dry and he's had to go very wide into turn number 1, but at the moment it looks like Brian Moncani is splitting the Welsh party at the moment in that Honda NSX, potentially going to be putting Craig Thomas under considerable amount of threat. Lee Fitzey's doing the same to obviously Lee Fitzey at the moment is doing the same to Chris Wheatley. You've got Dan Cope and Bruno Batica having a bit of a moment. Stu Shelton to escape this group. You've got Fast Portuguese on the inside of Bruno Batica. He thinks better of it, but you've got Excalibur and Brian Ross, and of course, oh, Nath John and Steve Stones was that coming together. Can we get the replay? No, we can't. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Let's see what happens going into the hairpin here. Does it look like Steve Stone? Oh, Nath just gets a bit sideways at the same time, but it takes Steve Stones with him. Dean Atkinson after a bit of a moment. 13th for the moment, but we'll go back up to the battle between Bruno Batica and of course Dan Cope, and of course Excalibur. Dan Cope, what a move, he actually outbrakes himself though, sadly that's cost him a bit of ground there. As Brian Ross cuts up into 10th place at the moment, and you got Dean Atkinson and of course I believe that Majayo, I believe. We'll just double check. Dean Atkinson gets the move done. We'll go back up to the front for the Welsh battle at the moment. It is looking likely Adam Morgan has got back in front of Brian Moncani there, as Chris Wheatley is under threat from Lee Fitzey as we're about to start lap 2. So it is going to be very close and personal, as Lee Fitzey is getting alongside Chris Wheatley on the inside for turn number 1. Lee Fitzey actually makes the move stellarly. He's going to be pushing on that Super and VGT battles are going to be ongoing quite severely. It's actually a Welsh 1, 2, 3, 4 at the moment, because Craig Thomas is also doing the interchanging battle. But Brian Moncani will be chasing him down. Stu Shelton at the moment in 6th place, followed by Excalibur up into 7th. So it's a good showing. Fast Portuguese in VGT there, with Bruno Batica and Brian Ross behind him. Brian Ross putting Bruno a bit under pressure at the moment. He's got that claret and blue Toyota Supra absolutely nailed into the corners, going down the hill now to the hairpin. It is going to be very close indeed. You've got Dan Cope lurking in the background, but it looks like Bruno Batica has had that line covered. Dan Cope struggling at the moment. Dean Atkinson in 12th, followed by Steve Stones and of course the new guy there between Ollie and Nate Fletch. Nate Fletch at the moment suffering. He's got that indicator on yet again, but that's just down to him. It looks like Lee Fitzey at the moment still under considerable amounts. He's not under threat, but he's under considerable amount of pressure from Chris Wheatley at the moment. We do have Adam Morgan 3rd, followed by Craig Thomas and Brian Moncani for 5th place at the moment. Obviously, the Welsh boys are trying to get away from the Belgian, but it looks like at the moment the Welsh boys are going to try and put on a good strategy. I believe Excalibur still 7th. He's doing an absolute stellar job at the moment, keeping that super nice and steady. Got Fast Portuguese and Bruno Batica with Brian Ross lurking in the background, and of course the VGT of Dan Cope, followed by the Lexus of Dean Atkinson. It is going to be very close indeed. Steve Stones 13th, followed by Ollie, followed by Nate Fletch. It is going to be very close indeed, but I'll tell you this, Adam Morgan now under threat from Craig Thomas. Craig Thomas there actually putting his countryman Adam Morgan under a lot of pressure. I believe these guys actually do a lot of testing together during the week. It's going to be very interesting because Adam Morgan is going to have to be very careful. Craig Thomas in that Supra, the other Supra, the stickered up Supra, obviously looks very nice on stream, yes, but Craig's got to be very careful if he wants to get past Adam Morgan, that he doesn't allow that intersection. Brian Moncani at the moment to try and get past. Brian actually goes a bit wide. It looks like Craig Thomas at the moment is trying to get past Adam Morgan, but Adam Morgan at the moment is thinking none of it. He's actually going to try, Craig's actually going to try and get past, but it's going to be very close, I believe. Stu Shelton running in 6th place, followed by Excalibur at the moment. We do have Fast Portuguese in 8th, followed by Bruno Batica and Brian Ross, Dean Atkinson and Dan Cope. Dan Cope actually looks like he's putting Dean Atkinson under a considerable amount of pressure. I don't know whether that was an interchanging battle, but Dan Cope's flashing his lights. Don't know whether he means it, but he's obviously flashing the lights at the moment. Steve Stones 13th, Ollie 14th, followed by Nate Fletch. Oh, Nate's gone a bit wide, picked up a considerable amount of dirt, but at the moment it is looking likely Chris Wheatley's trying to gain up to Lee Fitzy at the moment. But as we see Adam Morgan here, he's actually now dropped away from Craig Thomas at the moment. Craig's actually still trying to follow him round. We're about to start lap 4 of the race with 43 minutes to go. Will be very close, I'm sure it will, but Craig Thomas at the moment just tucks in behind the other Supra there. It's going to be very close, I'll tell you what. Brian Moncani, Stu Shelton, and of course Excalibur. Fast Portuguese escaping from Bruno Batica. You're looking at Brian Ross there in 10th, followed by Dean Atkinson. Dean Atkinson 11th, so it looks like the Lexus, even though it has so much grunt, will try and get up to the back of the claret and blue Toyota Supra in a little while. Dan Cope dropped back from Dean Atkinson just a bit. Steve Stones, Nate Fletch now has got past Ollie for 15th at the moment, so it is looking likely what is going to happen, because we do have Adam Morgan in 3rd place trying to get away from Craig Thomas at the moment. It is going to be very much alive, this contest, with 42 minutes on the clock, so we have had quite some time, potentially 8 minutes of racing already, just under 8 minutes of racing. Well, not 8 minutes of racing, sorry, I do apologise. We do have 41.5 minutes to go, but yes, we've had almost 9.5 minutes. So yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see exactly what will happen. But at the moment, Craig's trying to still put Adam under pressure. See what's happening further back. Dean's trying to get alongside Bruno Batica. Brian Ross has dropped back. Bruno Batica there in that intersects the white one. Oh, he runs a bit wide, which has allowed Dean Atkinson to get past him. We'll try and get that on replay if we can. Just go quickly into this battle. It looks like Bruno Batica was on the inside, but he ran a bit too deep. That's allowed Dean Atkinson into 9th place at the moment. Brian Ross in 11th, Dan Cope 12th, Steve Stones and Nate Fletch, and of course Ollie rounding up the field at the moment. So we have got, oh, it's looking very feisty between Craig and Adam at the moment. as we go into the twisty stuff. This is going to be close. Going down the hill now is Craig going to try and make an absolute stellar of a move. I remember doing commentary here a while ago, and there was obviously Craig's best mate, Gareth Morris, just briefly mentioning having a bit of a battle when they went down the hill in the last race. It was contact, but at the moment Craig Thomas has got to slot in behind Adam Morgan at the moment, so that's going to be very close because Adam's going to want to try and chase him, but as Craig tries to do that, he's got to be careful because that NSX Brian Moncani will actually get up and close. So we've got about 10 minutes of racing already. Where has that time gone? But looking at this battle, Craig Thomas there on Adam Morgan, this is probably, hopefully not going to end in tears. But it's looking likely that Craig's going to have to try and push on. Craig's trying to actually emulate that move, but it is looking likely the 69 Toyota Supra at the moment is trying to push on a bit of a challenge. So 69 car versus, I believe it's the 22. No, that's the 21. I do apologise. With 39 minutes to go, so it is going to be very close. It will. Adam Morgan gets a bit sideways there, which has allowed Craig Thomas onto his back bumper. You can tell Craig's going to be fighting for victory this evening. He's obviously got a lucky charm, I think. He's just trying to get past Adam Morgan. See what's happening further back. At the moment, Fast Portuguese has got that Lexus RCF of Dean Atkinson filling his mirrors. It's looking like the VGT at the moment is going to have to be pushing on quite a bit. I believe Rui is going to be trying to push on for some time. It's going to be very much interesting to see exactly what happens as Portuguese actually gets under threat from Dean Atkinson going down the main street, which Dean Atkinson has actually now got past the VGT. Looks like Portuguese isn't going to give up though, so it's going to be very interesting to see exactly what happens as we get very close towards the round of pit stops. I believe Brian Ross has jumped into pit lane, so has Nave John and Dan Cope. So it is going to be very close, I believe. Craig Thomas there. We'll just have a look. Can we get that on replay? Oh, he's already third because we've just missed exactly a bit. I do apologise. So just looking at that, it looked like Adam Morgan's now got the run on Craig Thomas to try and get third place back. The Brian Moncani Honda NSX also was joining the party briefly, but it's looking likely at the moment Craig Thomas has got Adam Morgan severely filling his mirrors left, right and centre. The green and black Toyota Supra of Brian Moncani there in the NSX, putting Adam Morgan under threat. So Adam's got to be very careful that he doesn't put, when he puts Craig under pressure, that he doesn't invite the Belgian of Brian there. It's going to be very close. It looks like, it's Adam Morgan run a bit wide. Did he drift? Let's see what happened. I think he just drifted. I think he just lost a bit of grip. Yeah, he just lost a bit of grip there, which allowed Brian to push on there, which is a bit of a shame for Adam because he was doing so well trying to chase down Craig Thomas, but hey ho, still a long way to go in this race. The guys actually are making a pit stop, so Adam Morgan will go back up into fourth. Lee Fitzy and Chris Wheatley are up the road at the moment. He got Stu Shelton in fourth. I believe Excalibur's jumped into pit lane, which is going to allow now Dean Atkinson and Bruno Bottega up into 6th and 7th. So it'll be very interesting to see exactly what happens. Fast Portuguese there at the moment will be heading out into 9th place. Excalibur rejoins the track in 10th place, followed by Dan Cope and Brian Ross, followed by Steve Stones, May Fletch, and of course Ollie. But it's going to be very interesting. Adam Morgan, don't know whether he's struggling at the moment. His tyres look a bit worn. But Craig Thomas out in 5th place from Dean Atkinson. So Craig's rejoined in 5th. Dean Atkinson in the Lexus on warmer tyres now, trying to chase down Craig Thomas. So it will be very interesting to see exactly what happens. Bruno Batica having a stellar drive at the moment in 7th place. Brian Moncani, and of course Fast Portuguese and Excalibur versus Dan Cope and Brian Ross, Steve Stones, and of course May Fletch and Ollie. There, Lee Fitzy still leading the race. He's got the fastest lap at the moment with 34.5 minutes to go. Chris Wheatley's countryman following him close behind, well not close behind but sort of behind, with Adam Morgan across to Shelton. But going back to this battle between Dean Atkinson and Craig Thomas on cold tyres at the moment, the cold hard tyres, it is going to be probably very close. Just looking at Dean Atkinson there, Craig goes and looks to break into that hairpin. He's got to get on the power. Always seems to me that Supra there has had a bit of a wiggle. But Chris Wheatley now leads the race because of Lee Fitzy jumping into pit lane. Adam Morgan exactly staying out as well. Stu Shelton 3rd place at the moment. Lee Fitzy will now technically come out ahead of these guys. Dean Atkinson now jumps into pit lane, I believe. Dean's having a bit of a challenge there. So Bruno Batica now looking to 6th. Brian Moncani in 7th. Fast Portuguese 8th. Dean was running out of fuel there, so that kind of pushed him a bit. Excalibur in 9th, so that's going to be very interesting. Dean rejoins in 10th, Dan Cope 11th, Brian Ross 12th, followed by Steve Stones, and they Fletch, and of course Ollie. But there's not really major battles at the moment. I think that's because most of the field potentially are on their sort of interesting strategies. So Brian Moncani will try and chase down Bruno Batica in the sister NSX. It's going to be very interesting to see exactly what happens with Fast Portuguese there. Excuse me as I knocked the microphone. Fast Portuguese 8th, Excalibur 9th, doing an absolute stellar good showing this evening. He's obviously now getting better with 32 and 10 seconds to go, so it will be very close. Dean Atkinson, after running out a bit of fuel in that Lexus, it likes to drink fuel, that Lexus, don't get me wrong, but with 32 minutes to go, we've still got a long way to go. Dan Cope at 11th, followed by Brian Ross, of course Steve Stones and Lee Fletch, and Ollie at the back of the field. Chris Wheatley now makes his decision to go and pit. Adam Morgan, I believe Adam will do the same. Yes, he will. I believe Stu will do the same as well. So it's going to be very interesting to see what these guys can do. Obviously, running out of fuel isn't the best idea. But Lee Fitzy there will now inherit the race lead from his cousin Craig Thomas if he can put the foot down. He's got Bruno Batica behind him. And he's got the two Honda NSXs. He's got Bruno Batica and of course Brian Moncani chasing him. So it does look likely Bruno Batica has Brian Moncani gets past him. What a stellar move going into turn number 1. We'll see exactly how it was done. Just going, quite a flash of the lights from Brian Moncani there. Obviously wanted that move done. He's actually done it. He's up into 4th place at the moment. He's still got Bruno Batica chasing him. He's flashing the lights at Craig Thomas now because Craig's probably holding him up. So Brian wants it. Oh, he drifts it there. It's got a bit of a tail swift going on. But with Craig getting... Oh, Brian's actually made a stellar move. What an absolute fantastic move. Going into the hairpin there. Craig's probably thinking, what have I got to do to actually get back in front now? That is an absolute stellar move from Brian Mulcahy in that Honda NSX. It looks like Craig's struggling at the moment. Adam Morgan rejoins in 6th place. Fast Portuguese at the moment trailing in 7th, followed by Stu Shelton and Excalibur. Dean Atkinson there 10th, Dan Cope 11th, Brian Ross 12th, followed by Steve Stones and Nath John. Ollie has pitted. Chris Wheatley back up into 2nd. I believe he actually had a stellar pit stop with 29.5 minutes to go, so we are halfway through the race already. It does not seem like we've got half an hour left of the race, but it is looking likely that Bruno Batica will be putting Craig Thomas under considerable amount of pressure. I believe Craig is having, I don't know if he's struggling in that third super this evening, or he's just trying to get a rhythm back to how it was. Bruno Batica in that white NSX there having a bit of a ball at the moment. He will obviously want to push on. He actually jumps into pit lane, so that will push Adam Morgan back up into 5th place with Fast Portuguese there. He's now going to jump into pit lane, which allows Stu Shelton into 6th place. So it's going to be very close and personal this evening. So we do have, as I say, a lot of battles interchanging. Bruno Batica actually rejoins in 10th place, actually made that 11th as Brian Ross goes round the outside of him into turn number 1. Don't forget he's on cold tyres. Fast Portuguese still in pit lane, comes out on the hards and a full tank of fuel, so it is going to be very interesting to see exactly what goes on. You've got Brian Mulcahy actually now on a massive charge. He's got a massive charge to get it to Chris Wheatley. So Brian in the NSX there potentially pushing on quite severely. He's obviously wanting a good showing. He wants to show the Welsh boys exactly that someone else could potentially win the race at the moment, but looking likely at the moment. Craig Thomas is struggling to see exactly what's going on here. But we do have quite a bit. Adam Morgan there in 5th place, followed by Stu Shelton and Nathan Excalibur. Excalibur there trying to make a move on Stu. This could be very interesting. Oh, is he going to make the move stick, or is Stu gets a bit of a crossed up moment, which has allowed Excalibur up into 6th. I don't know whether there's a bit of slight contact. It's looking like the Stu at the moment is suffering. Dan Pope 8th, followed by Dean Atkinson, followed by Brian Ross and Bruno Batica. Steve Stones in 12th, followed by Nath John and Fast Portuguese, and of course Ollie there. But you've got Brian Mulcahy just going into shots. He's done his trademark class move into 2nd place, which drops Chris Wheatley down into 3rd at the moment. Chris Wheatley will not like that one bit, but it's going to be very close. We've got 26 and 12 seconds, so 26 minutes and no, 26 minutes now to go. This race has already provided some great interest. So looking at this, Chris Wheatley at the moment trying to get past Brian Mulcahy again. It's looking likely the NSX here is working quite well this evening. What is happening is Lee Fitzy. What's Lee Fitzy doing? Look at this, Lee Fitzy at the moment on course potentially for decent results. You've got Brian Mulcahy just looking back at this battle at the moment. He's now trying to eke out that advantage, which he has done to Chris Wheatley. Chris Wheatley in the VGT, the Welsh flagged VGT, trying to chase down the NSX at the moment. That is going to be very interesting coming the end of the race. Excalibur into 6th, as we said, with Stu Shelton. Dean Atkinson and Brian Ross now have a bit of an interchanging sort of, I believe it's sort of an interchanging battle between the Lexus and the Supra. Bruno Botica in 10th, followed by Steve, followed by Fast Portuguese and Dan Cope. Dan Cope's coming out pit lane in 13th. So the two VGTs are together. Nate Fletch in 14th, and obviously Ollie in the other NSX in 15th. So you've got Brian Moncani doing an absolute stellar sort of moves at the moment. It's going to be very close to see exactly what happens within the race itself. It's going to be very close. But we've got coming to 24 minutes to go. It's going to be one of them. We're looking at Chris Wheatley. Is he going to try and get up to Brian Moncani? He's about 7.3 from Craig Thomas. Craig Thomas there. Craig jumps into pit lane. He's obviously run out of fuel. Adam Morgan will take 4th place from him. Excalibur. Looking at Excalibur there. What is he doing? He's actually into 5th now, because obviously people's pit stops will push him up. Stu Shelton at the moment he's having a bit of a chicken and jive. I don't know whether he's having issues. But looking at this, Brian Ross. Just as Craig Thomas jumps out of pit lane, Brian Ross and Dean Atkinson. Oh. Dean Atkinson has got Craig Thomas as well. Oh, what is going on here? Craig Thomas is struggling like a mad at the moment. The earlier 2 race winner. He's obviously going to try and chase down Dean Atkinson though, but this could be very interesting indeed. With 23 minutes to go. Looking at the moment, Dean Atkinson and Art Lexus holding off Craig Thomas. Craig Thomas will think about getting past him yet again. But Brian Ross is also there. Brian Ross will try and make a move on Craig Thomas. Going into the hairpin, Craig Thomas does. Dean Atkinson on the outside. Oh, Craig gets a bit loose. He gets a bit loosey-goosey there, but he gets past Dean Atkinson. Has Dean he's lost a bit of ground, because Brian Ross has actually got past him there. It's going to be fantastic, I'll tell you. This Bruno Botica in 10th, followed by Dan Cope and Fast Portuguese at the moment. Steve Stone's suffering at the moment. Lee Fletch, he's doing well in 14th at the moment. And you've got Ollie 15th. But at the moment, we'll try and go back. Look at Excalibur. He's actually 5th at the moment. Craig Thomas and Brian Ross, they're going to have a bit of an interchanging battle. It is going to be very close. Lee Fitzy jumps into pit lane. Is that going to be allowed? Brian Moncani does exactly the same, so that's now going to give Chris Wheatley the race lead. Adam Morgan now will be 4th. Potentially could be 3rd, second. Excalibur could be 4th. But looking at this battle between Craig Thomas and Brian Ross at the moment, it will be very interesting. Brian Ross actually gets past Craig Thomas with great ease. Dean Atkinson. What can Dean do? Is Dean going to do exactly the same? Excalibur actually jumps into pit lane, so that's kind of a bit of a shame. Craig is struggling on the mediums. Dean Atkinson actually makes the move stick. He looks like he's going to be pitting next lap though, because he's slowly run out of fuel with 21 minutes to go. Looking at this though, Chris Wheatley and Adam Morgan, and Chris Wheatley leading the race, Adam Morgan and Lee Fitzy. Lee Fitzy thinks about making a move going downhill, sparks his way downhill, gets the move from Adam Morgan. I bet Adam was not expecting that. Or is it an interchanging Welsh tactic? Stu Shelton there in 14th, followed by Brian Moncani, just come out of pit lane into 5th place. He was actually doing quite well with 20.5 minutes to go. Brian Ross, Dean Atkinson actually has Craig Thomas all over the back, but Craig is suffering on the mediums. I don't know whether Craig's suffering on the mediums or he's just playing it cool, potentially to try and see what the rest can do. But it's looking like at the moment Dean Atkinson will be pitting this lap because he is running out of fuel slowly but surely. But Craig Thomas there, the Welshman, trying to chase down Dean in that Lexus. The Lexus, obviously, as I said before, before practice, during practice, it was underrated. But it's looking likely he's putting on a good show for the Lexus fans this evening. Bruno Batica, 9th, followed by Excalibur 10th. Dan Cope 11th, Fast Portuguese 12th. Steve Stones 13th. Chris Wheatley jumps into pit lane. Nate Fletch 14th, and Ollie in 15th at the moment, but Lee Fitzy will inherit the lead, should I say, from Chris Wheatley. Adam Morgan will do exactly the same, and Stu Shelton up into 3rd at the moment. So Stu on a good run this evening. Brian Moncani now up to 4th, and it's looking likely Brian Ross, Dean Atkinson. So Craig Thomas will now actually jump up into 6th. He's got Chris Wheatley ahead of him. Chris, his compatriots, up ahead, so it's going to be very close. Bruno Batica 7th, Excalibur 9th, well 8th should I say. So it's a good showing for Nathan this evening. Dan Cope now 9th, with the likes of Brian Ross and Dean Atkinson in pit lane. Fast Portuguese 10th, followed by Steve Stones and obviously Nate Fletch and Ollie there in 15th. But at the moment Adam Morgan looking what he can do. He's got his indicator on. I don't know whether he's put his indicator on too early or he's just doing it for distraction for Stu. That is following him, should I say, from behind him for obviously a bit of a strategy. He's looking likely at the moment Brian Moncani will have 4th place, followed by Chris Wheatley in 5th at the moment. Craig Thomas, the earlier race round 1 and 2 winner, suffering. Don't know whether he's suffering this evening or he's just pushing too hard, but Bruno Batica and Excalibur doing very well, I must say. Dan Cope 9th, followed by Steve Stones. Fast Portuguese now 11th. Brian Ross and Dean Atkinson, both these guys very quick guys, I must admit. Dean in that Lexus obviously tried to push on, and they fletched, of course, Ollie and the NSX. Lee Fitzy there with 17 minutes to go, just about. So it'll be very close, looking at Lee's sort of idea. Adam Morgan now actually looks like he's actually going to jump into pit lane. I believe Stu's going to now take 2nd place from him, so yes he will, which is going to be very close. Brian Moncani will take 3rd, as long as he has no issues with 16 minutes and 40 seconds on the clock. Craig Thomas back up into, Craig's got his right hand indicator on, I don't know if he's knocked it. He's obviously wanting to, well, he's turned it off now. But yeah, he's got Chris Wheatley 4th, Adam Morgan and Bruno Batica actually jumps into pit lane, so that will allow Excalibur up into 6th, followed by Adam Morgan just gets ahead, gets behind Dan Cope. So Dan Cope up into 7th, Bruno Batica rejoins in 10th, Steve Stones is now 9th. Brian Ross 11th from Dean Atkinson and Fast Portuguese in pit lane. Nate Fletch 14th, and obviously Ollie in. Well, Nate Fletch is now 13th. Fast Portuguese jumps into pit lane, so Ollie in 15th. So you got Brian Moncani 3rd at the moment. which is good showing by that NSX. Craig Thomas still 5th, obviously trying to have a bit of a 15.5 minutes to go. Craig is obviously, I don't know whether he's struggling. It'll be interesting to hear his thoughts going into the next round of the championship. But it'll be very interesting. Dan Cope trying to chase down Excalibur. Well, this could be a battle. There's Excalibur and Dan Cope. Could be very interesting. As Excalibur is under threat from Dan Cope. Dan Cope there. Oh, just looking at what's going on. Did Excalibur just we'll go back to the replay if we can just for a moment. Just trying to talk about this for a moment or two. Dan Cope just makes that move. Just makes the move stick. So that's allowed dropped Excalibur down to 7. Adam Morgan in 8, followed by Steve Stones and Bruno Batica, Brian Ross and Dean Atkinson, followed by No Fletcher, Fast Portuguese with Ollie over there. So, what is going to happen with 14 minutes to go? It's going to be very interesting. It's going to hot up. The battles potentially probably will hot up. Dan Cope actually jumps into pit lane, so it's going to allow Adam Morgan and Excalibur to jump in. No idea, Phil. Some YouTube video I've asked her to turn it down. But looks like Adam Morgan has got past Excalibur for 6th place at the moment. There's Brian Moncani there, has got Chris Wheatley chasing him down. So it looks like the Welsh boys will be probably 1st and probably could be 4th at this rate, but we'll see. Excuse me. As Stu Shelton, just looking at him now, is in 2nd. Looks like Chris Wheatley's putting Brian Moncani under a considerable amount of threat. Oh, Brian's lost it. He's lost it. So that's allowed Chris Wheatley to get up and close. Chris is going to have that move going down the hill, or is he? It's going to be very interesting because Brian Moncani now has to settle for 4th. So we've got Craig Thomas 5th at the moment, but it is looking likely with 12.5 minutes to go. It's going to be very close, I'll tell you that, for next to nothing. Adam Morgan 6th, followed by Excalibur and Bruno Batica, followed by Brian Ross and Dean Atkinson, followed by Nate Fletch and Dan Cope. Dan Cope under threat from Nate Fletch. Stu actually dives into pit lane. So it's going to be very interesting to see exactly what happens, because is that allowed? Yes, it's allowed Brian Moncani up into 3rd. But at the moment, Nate Fletch and Dan Cope are probably going to have a bit of a battle. Fast Portuguese was part of that battle until he drops it on the curb. But it is going to be very interesting. Steve Stones 14th at the moment. But Ollie in 15th. I believe Craig Thomas actually was also in pit lane. Yes, he is. He's come out in 8th place just. Oh, no, he's not. Sorry, he's come out in 9th because Brian Ross has just overtaken him. He's got to be careful because Dean Atkinson is also there. But at the moment, just going back from what I'm seeing here, Bruno Batica is putting Excalibur under threat for 6th place at the moment. Oh, he's lost it though. Bruno Batica's lost it. So Excalibur will extend that gap now because Bruno Batica has lost a bit of ground, a bit of dirt was picked up within that move. Tried to make that move there. So it's not looking likely, should I say? Let's get me words out and nice English hoppers. Within 4th place we've had Morgan and of course Stu Shelton. So the 2 Supras are potentially happening in a battle with 10.5 minutes to go. As I say, Stu Shelton putting a lot of, going to be putting a lot of pressure under Adam Morgan. But it looks like Bruno Batica, after his early mistake, now has Excalibur in his sights yet again. Excalibur goes a bit deep into that hairpin, which has allowed Bruno Batica up into 6th place. Craig Thomas up into now 8th after Brian Ross. Him and Brian Ross have a bit of a heart-stopping moment. Well, not a heart-stopping moment, but a bit of a interchange. Lee Fitzy now into pit lane, which is allowed Chris Wheatley. Brian Moncani does exactly the same. So coming into the final part of the, coming into the final minutes of the race now, you do have 9.5 minutes to go, but it is going to be very close and personal. As Bruno Batica there, just like, look at him go, that NSX is flying. It's obviously a Honda powered, yeah, it's Honda powered, but you know, Excalibur jumps into pit lane, so that's allowed Bruno Batica now comfortably in 6th, and Stu Shelton is under threat from Brian Moncani. Oh my days, where has this come from? Brian Moncani's pit stops have been on fire this evening. Looks like the crew in that NSX have got it to work. Stu Shelton thinks about Brian Moncani actually goes on the outside. Oh, it nearly, oh, that's close as you like. Brian's got the pace. What? Stu Shelton there actually trying to defend from Brian Moncani. We'll just go through the replay just for a moment. It looks like Brian actually had the better drive on the outside. Stu actually just tucks him behind. I think Brian's going to be on for a podium here. Bruno Batica's 6th at the moment. Oh, he's doing a stellar job. It's looking likely. Craig Thomas there, now 7th. Brian Ross 8th with Dean Atkinson 9th. Dan Cope and Fast Portuguese and Excalibur. Unfortunately, Excalibur now has dropped down to 12th. But fair play to him, he's not given up this evening. Steve Stone's 13th, Nate Fletch 14th, and Ollie sadly a lap down. He's lost it. He's lost it there, but Chris Wheatley in 1st place at the moment. We've come up to 7.5 minutes to go. He's looking likely though. Lee Fitzy is going to be 2nd. Adam Morgan 4th. Brian Moncani at the moment though. Just looking at this NSX, I'll say this: what on earth is that these team and pit stops have been lightning quick? He's obviously playing the right strategy. Adam Morgan there, 3rd place at the moment. Bruno Batica now 5th. But it looks like Stu's had a bit of a mishap because he's now dropped down to 7th, which has allowed Craig Thomas up into 6th. Brian Ross in 7th. And of course, well, 8th rather. I do apologise. But Stu already into. Well, he's now going to be potentially now 8th because Brian Ross is alongside him. Just about. He's looking likely at the moment. Stu is suffering. Whether he's suffering damage or he's suffering just with tyres or what. Brian Ross there gets the move done on Stu. Does exactly an absolute stellar drive, but Craig Thomas there has the wiper on. It's not raining, mate. He's got Bruno Batica in his sights. Bruno's obviously going to be on a massive charge. He's obviously wanting a good result after winning the Mazda MX-5s on Friday evening. It's going to be very close indeed with 6 minutes to go. Craig Thomas still with that wiper going. Oh, Bruno's unfortunately lost that place, but always give Craig a shove on the rear. That's not going to be good. That's not going to do him any credentials. But you know, he's pushing. He's trying to push Craig all the way. Craig still has his wiper running. Craig must think it's raining over in Japan. With 5.5 minutes to go, it's going to be very interesting. Bruno Batica trying to actually push on for 5th place again. We'll see what's exactly going on. Brian Moncani, just while we're watching Craig Thomas and of course Bruno Batica battle, he's back up into 3rd place. So the NSX there on course for a good result. Yet again, Chris Wheatley now jumps into pit lane, so that will allow Lee Fitzy to take the lead with 5 minutes to go. It's going to be a nail-biting finish, I'll tell you that, for next to now, guys. We do have potentially some interchanging battles. Chris Wheatley now jumps out into 2nd, but looking likely it's going to be very close, I'll tell you this. 4 minutes and 40 seconds. It's going to be weird, I'll tell you that. Craig Thomas now up to the back of Adam Morgan. See exactly what Craig's strategy is going to be for the latter part. Does Craig have his wiper on still? Yes, he does. He's obviously not the wiper switch in that Supra. He's got past Adam Morgan because Adam Morgan's picked up a 5/10 penalty there. That's a bit unfortunate for Adam. He's obviously now going to have to get rid of that. That's going to cost him a bit of ground because Bruno Batica will catch him. Is Craig going to try and spoil the party for Brown in 3rd place at the moment? But we will see, because we've got just under 4 minutes to go. It's looking very interesting. These guys have done an absolute stellar job this evening. Bruno Batica will try and get that move done. Ross 7th, Stu Shelton 8th, Dean Atkinson now 9th, Dan Cope 10th, followed by Excalibur now 11th. With 3.5 minutes to go. This has been very close and personal this evening, but it is looking like Steve Stone's 12th, Fast Portuguese 13th, followed by Nate Fletch. He's got a bit of a 3/10 penalty, unfortunately. It's going to cost him, and obviously Ollie in 15th. But it's looking likely at the moment. Craig Thomas now 4th, still with his wiper on coming, but you know, he's obviously trying to push on. Craig's trying to do an absolute stellar job. Adam Morgan there will have Bruno Batica chasing him down at the moment. It's looking likely though, with 3 minutes, just under 3 minutes to go, it's going to be very close and personal. I can't believe exactly what I've seen here, but it's going to be very interesting to see exactly what is going to happen. Bruno Batica, I can't believe how well he's driven this evening. Same with Brian Moncani. You know, the NSXs have obviously come into a world of their own this evening. Adam Morgan unfortunately takes his penalty, which has cost him ground, because now Bruno Batica has got that 5th place. But Craig Thomas is putting Brian Moncani under considerable amount of pressure. It is going to be very interesting indeed. But what is happening with 2 minutes to go? Craig Thomas is going to spoil this party. He's looking likely. Oh, he's got the move done. He's got the move done, even though he's still got that wiper going. Brian Moncani, he's going to probably think, I'm going to make... Oh, he runs a bit wide. He goes lawnmower in. Oh, that could have ended in serious tears, but Brian Moncani with all the pace of Brian. The NSX now trying to push on any battles, so with back Bruno Batica and Adam Morgan are trying to push on for potentially 5th and 6th. This is going to be very close with 1 minute and 25 seconds to go in this race. It's looking likely Brian Ross in 7th, Dean Atkinson and Stu's dropped down to 9th. He's got Dean Atkinson in 8th though. It's going to be very close, I'd say. This Dan Cope 10th, Excalibur 11th, Steve Stone to 12th, Fast Portuguese 13th, Nathan John with that penalty. Don't know whether he's picked up another one, but with 1 minute to go, and obviously you've got Ollie in 15th. Looks like Craig Thomas there at the moment. He's got He's lapping Ollie, but I'm a bit concerned what is going to happen for Craig, because it's going to be probably very close. It is going to be very entertaining. But looking at Bruno Batica, he's actually been on a stellar drive. Looks like that NSX is going to be on fire, you know. Looks like to me the NSXs have proved a point. He hops the curb. He's still got Adam Morgan behind him. Brian Ross just lapping Ollie for 15th. At the moment it's going to be very close. We have 10 seconds to go. Craig Thomas there will have to get the legs of that Supra. Looks like he's running on fumes now though. You know, this will be the final lap of the race. It will be very interesting to see exactly what happens. So it looks like Brian Ross will be the first to finish, even though he finished 7th. Stu Shelton in 8th. Dean Atkinson now 9th. Dan Cope will finish 10th. Excalibur will be 11th. Steve Stones will be 12th. Fast Portuguese will be 13th, followed by Nate Fletch and of course Ollie. But at the moment, what is happening? Craig Thomas obviously does have potentially now 3rd place in the bag. Lee Fitzy will take the victory, though bar any mistake. Looks like Brian Montgomery and Adam Morgan, as well as Bruno Batica. Bruno Batica, what an absolute stellar drive this evening. It's going to be very hard to pick a driver today, though, I'll tell you this. For next to nothing, but I'll tell you now, we've seen some very interesting battles, we've seen some interesting moves, we've seen some outrageous, well, when I say outrageous, we've seen some absolutely fantastic door-to-door and mirror-to-mirror action. You know, it has not failed to disappoint this evening, but we are looking at Lee Fitzy. He is on a massive charge. Going through the final turn now, he will take a first victory within the Eldar Sim JTCC GR3s here at Kyoto. He is going to come and cross the line, flashes the lights, he will be ecstatic. Chris Wheatley also doing exactly the same, but he has got to get through this final turn. You know, he is going to be ecstatic. He will be on the podium, so it'll be a Welsh 1, 2 and potentially 1, 2, 3, providing Craig Thomas does not make a mistake going into the final bend of the lap. Craig Thomas there, he's got Brian Montgomery closer and closer, but it looks like Craig has actually got 3rd place. Brian Montgomery will come home in 4th, in Adam Morgan 5th, and Bruno Batica always run out of fuel, but he'll still finish 6th. Oh, that's a massive shame, he ran out of fuel, but to come home in 6th, what a stellar drive. I must say, Nate Fletch, unfortunately with his penalty, has gone against him for the race, but congratulations to Lee Fitzy. He has the pole position, fastest lap and the clean race. So yes, it has been probably one of the closest races I have ever seen. And I'll tell you this, we will get the race results, and I'll tell you this now. Excuse me, I said a burp down everyone's ear, I do apologise. I'm just going to get the race results. Lee Fitzy takes an astounding victory ahead of Chris Wheatley, followed by Craig Thomas. So it's an all-Welsh podium for probably the 4th time this season. But bear in mind, Brian Montgomery, stellar drives there. But I will get the rest, and then we'll go through it. But Brian Montgomery from Adam Morgan, Bruno Batica, an absolute stellar drive. Stu Shelton and Dean Atkinson, Dan Cope 10th, followed by Excalibur, Steve Stones, Fast Portuguese, Nate Fletch. His penalty did cost him dearly. and obviously Ollie a couple of laps, 2 laps down. Fastest lap actually went to Lee Fitzey on lap 21, so on the penultimate lap of the race with a 2:15.892. So all I'm going to say is what an absolute stellar drive it has been. Very, very, very interesting drive for the day, though. I must say, I'm gonna have to pick 2 drivers. You know, even though we don't do driver of the days, but I'm gonna have to say Brian Moncani and of course Bruno Batica, personally, because you know the NSXs seem to be on quite some sensational fire and probably had a lot of fire in the power of the NSX. It's going to be very interesting because I believe next week, just bear with while I look at next week's calendar, just as we get kits out of the lobby. Just give me 1 second, guys. Next week's race will be if I remember rightly, I'm trying to remember. So give me a second, I will try and remember. So as I say, I'm just going to try and find out where we are next week. Just give me 1 second. So yeah, I'll find out where we are for next week. But yes, until then, guys, I've been Hoppers, and this has been the JTCC GR3 Championship, brought to you by Eldar Racing, and it should be very fantastic going into the next round of the championship. And it is going to be very close and personal. I can't believe exactly what will happen, but who knows. I will see you guys hopefully next week for more thrilling action. My voice is now officially gone. So until next week, guys, take care. Ta-ra.